My name is Kamra Devi Dasi, and this is part 8 of my autobiographical video series. Srila Prabhupada told us that there were few actual demons, but that innocent people become influenced by them. And in that way, they take on the demoniac qualities. Influence can come through the media, through popular culture, other forms of mundane entertainment, video games, impure foods, impure sound vibration, and so on. As far as the real demons and their agenda, people such as Kathy O'Brien and Mark Phillips and others such as Liz Crokin give plenty of information as to names, places, and events. There's a lot more, and it's not my mission to add information to what has already been presented, although it was shocking and disgusting to me to recall who was involved and what transpired. Maybe more things will be exposed in the Ghislaine Maxwell or Jeffrey Epstein files. Who knows? Things are going to come down of their own accord by design. But the evil stuff exists, and it has infiltrated everything. It's so evil, it's so sickening, that the common man would vomit or faint if they knew that a human was capable of contriving such things, let alone doing them. It's tied in with the whole world agenda that we see now being exposed. It's the agenda behind all the nefarious agendas to destroy everything good, and especially everything godly. That is why the religious institutions, and especially the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, were targeted. Do you see where this is going? Krishna sent his right-hand man, who we know as His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada, to this material world to bring forth and propagate the topmost spiritual teachings for the benefit of all humankind. When the possibility of the topmost spiritual benefit is there, then Kali must also send his best men to try to thwart the efforts, and he did. The satanic rituals and heinous abusive events after Srila Prabhupada left were intended to divert the entire mission from the original intent and purity. It was a deliberate endeavor on their part and changed the face of the mission in gradual ways. The organization has now digressed so much as to be unrecognizable to one who knew Srila Prabhupada and has cheated the innocent hearts from what is real. It has put a cap on what is actually available. Give them only enough to be useful. That was their demonic intention, to end the opportunity for anyone to have access to what Srila Prabhupada worked so hard to give. There were horrific things done to the deities in many of the temples and to the Murti forms of Srila Prabhupada. There were things done on the altars and in the pujari areas behind closed doors and curtains, atrocious things done to both children and adults. I recall witnessing things that were done to god sisters that left them with serious mental and emotional problems, physical health problems, PTSD, so much compromise, and so on. And they have no recall of the event or the events because of the trauma, the cognitive dissonance, the drugs that were administered to invoke forgetfulness, whatever. I'm certainly not going to try to remind them of it. It would be violence on top of violence. It is not my duty, and the perpetrators never thought that I would recall the episodes. But Krishna is the source of all knowledge, all remembrance, and all forgetfulness. For some time he had me forget, and then he had me remember, all for his own purpose. As far as the second generation of devotees, a lot of them carry so much bitterness, denial, illness, panic attacks, substance abuse, and much worse. And they criticize and condemn the rare few who have entered into their own healing process. It's such a threat to them. They have very little, if any, awareness of the sadistic cause. I'm not saying this happened to all the children. Of course, it didn't. But a lot of the children were affected. Again, it's not my duty to try to awaken them against their will. But if they come to some awareness on their own accord, I can possibly offer some support in their healing if they desire it. They have great potential to become a powerful force in the revival of the real mission of our pure disciplic succession, if they make that choice. The insanity can't continue going forward if the true mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is to be carried forth, if the instructions and the mercy of Srila Prabhupada are to be held as our guiding light. His mercy is all that we're made of, and his mercy can be spread far and wide if we come to a place of proper contemplation, introspection, empowerment, and dust ourselves off from whatever has blocked our enthusiasm for the pure devotional path. The evil influence upon the world can be minimized if enough people take to the chanting of the holy names, purely transmitted, and apply themselves to the process of pure devotional service under proper authority. If there's a concern over curbing the evil influences moving forward, it's like curing a disease. If the terrain is clean and pure, the diseased organisms can't thrive. They can't stay. They become minimized. And once society is restored to some level of sanity, there will emerge a proper class of saintly government leaders who know how to deal with the remaining criminals in the proper way. No more slaps on the wrist. Srila Prabhupada wanted us to become independently intelligent, not blind followers. He encouraged us in our individuality and in aligning our unique skills and interests with the service of the Lord. This dovetail brings great strength on the devotional path. It's time to study Srila Prabhupada's books more deeply, chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra with great sincerity, and associate with those who enliven and inspire us. It's time to learn to support each other in both our spiritual development and the hard struggle for existence in this world. It's time to examine what is real on the devotional path and what was artificially imposed, and honestly discern our own positions and how to move forward in spiritual realization. I'm going to share more the next time about how the abuses after Srila Prabhupada departed personally affected me, aside from the physical challenges. It may be hard to digest for some, but it may be confirming and strengthening for others. It's hard for me to share these things, but Krishna has asked, so next time I will do that.